Hello there and welcome back to another Thunderous Productions tutorial. I'm the madman behind the mic, Jag Thunder, and this is Minecraft. And what's up everyone, and welcome to my aircraft hangar tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to build hangar bay for almost any size aircraft. This tutorial is based around several of my own aircraft designs, all of which have tutorials and can be found on my main channel. Like always, you may use these designs however you wish. The only thing that I ask is you give me credit for these cool and fun designs. Be sure to link my channel and this tutorial in your description if you upload any content contained from this tutorial. Other than that, let's sit back, relax, grab a handful of nuts, kick yourself in the face, and let's get this shit rolling. What's up guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. This one is going to be based off of my hangar bay designs for your airplanes or helicopters. Now this doesn't have to be military specific. You can use it for your regional airports too. If you like this design and you just don't like the materials, you can just change the materials and make it look a little bit different. Alright, so each hangar bay is based off the exact same original state. All the corners will be the same. The only thing that's going to change is going to be the width and the length of each of your hangar bays. All the roofs are all going to be pretty much the same, and I'm going to do my best to show you how to lay each one out so that you can use it to fit any size or any type of plane that you have. Alright, so the first thing you need to determine is the size of the plane that you're putting in the hangar bay. That should make sense, and that should be the most obvious thing that you should think about. You probably already have your planes built, or maybe you want to build a hangar bay and then put different planes inside. But the first thing you're going to need to determine is what's going to go in there, and whether it's going to be one plane or it's going to be a series of planes. And then you're going to need a space around the planes and obviously a way to get in and out. My designs here are showing an open front and an open back. At the end I'll show you how to close it in after you build the main structure, and that way you can have a back on it if you don't want a drive-through version of it. But anyways, figure out what size plane you're going to put in there, or what size planes or helicopters, and figure out your inside dimensions. And what I mean by that is you want to figure out the door size by how wide your plane is. So basically from wingtip to wingtip, as you can see on my C-17 here, this is the extreme wingtip right here where the green line is, and then I gave myself a 1 block gap, and then I'm going to start the frame of my door. And again, same thing over here. So this is a 59, I think, from wingtip to wingtip, and as you can see I added 1 on each side, making it 61. So there's a 1 block gap on each side of your plane. So if you've got a smaller plane, add 2 blocks to the wingtip, and that is going to be the overall width. And you can go ahead and throw a block down just so you know basically how wide your plane is. Do it somewhere out in front of your nose a little bit. Make sure you find the center of your plane too. That is going to be kind of critical to how to lay out the hangar bays also. So you're going to have a center block, and then you're going to have an extreme width on the front and on the back. Now how far out should that go? On mine, find again extreme tip of the nose, and I like at least a 3 block gap to the inside framing, which is actually 4 blocks to this green right here, and that's to this inside piece right here, and then another one to the wall, and then another one to the actual door. So this is the center of the door right here if it were to be closed. So you're going to determine how far from that you want your plane to sit. Are you going to have different equipment sitting around the plane, or do you want it real close to the door? I wouldn't go no more than probably 3 to 5 blocks off of the center of that door. So you're going to go back probably 5 blocks, 3 blocks, and then start the front of your nose. So again, this is all going to be based off of what plane obviously you have in the hangar bay. Now if you're just building one just in general, just to put a bunch of different ones in here, then I'm going to give you a stock size here in just a few minutes that you can base off of a lot of my smaller airplane designs. But for your bigger ones, this is how you're going to have to determine how big the outside of this hangar bay is going to be. Alright, now for the rear portion of the plane, where your horizontal stabilizers are, which are these parts here that come off from the main vertical stabilizer, which is this piece here. you're going to have to determine the main height or the overall height of the plane, which obviously should be the vertical stabilizer. That's going to be the maximum door height of this piece right here. And again, that will move up and down based on this height right here. And again, if you want to have a 1 block gap over the top and then start your framing just like that, that works too. All right, so that is to figure out the height. Now the width is based off, again, the horizontal stabilizers. Just like the outside tips of your wings, you're going to come out and it's going to be right here where this green is, and then again a 1 block gap if you want to, and then start building your frame around that. So now that you have that laid out, this is what the back is going to look like. So let me go ahead and continue this across and then down and then up and connect like that. That is going to be the pretty much the extreme tight opening for the end. Now mine on this one here, I did happen to go tight so that if the plane was going halfway through, the wings or the horizontal stabilizers would actually touch this part of my hangar bay, so I didn't leave a 1 block gap on this particular one, but you can. It doesn't matter. Anyways, go ahead and figure out the extreme opening of the back and build that. And you're going to put the exact same thing on the front. That way, even if you close it in, you can still have, or for a drive-through, that way you've got it on both sides. Now if you're doing it just on one side where, you know, like the plane is backing in or you're just getting pulled in, then obviously you're only going to do it on one side, and this side over here, or the back side of the plane on the hangar bay, will remain flat and you will not have this framing. Alright, now that you've got pretty much your main openings, you've got your width, you've got your body height, which is right here, and again for the main height of this door going across the middle is based off, mine is based off the top height of the body section. So I've actually got one more section here before the vertical stabilizer, which is still part of the main body. So I just run this all the way across, and again I like 3 to 5 is nice. 3 is good. I'll go at least a 3 block gap above that, and then put your framing. So it's actually, you've got, this is where your plane would actually hit if it went through, a 3 block air gap, and then your framing. So a total of 5 blocks, counting your, you know, that bottom piece. Anyways, 3 block gap. Don't overcomplicate this. Just figure out your main heights, your main widths of every piece of your plane, and use white wool and frame out a door for your maximum height. It's all rectangles, guys. Just make a bunch of rectangles. Take your main height and come across. Take your main width and come down. That gives you this door piece. Find your center. And again, if you're going to have a drive-through piece, build this piece here. Bring it to the front. Build the exact same thing. So you'll have basically 2 big rectangles for the openings and then 2 small rectangles on the top. And then we'll go from there. Alright, so what you should have built is everything you see here that I have in colored wool, so the blue and the yellow. So you should have determined your overall width of the doors plus 1. So if your plane wing was right here, you added 1, and then you went ahead and made your outside extreme door, which is this piece right here. And then same thing on the other side. So you had your wing here, you added your 1 block air gap, and then you started your vertical door piece or door jamb, whatever you want to call it. And then you figured out your maximum height for your body for the plane to clear, which would go straight across here. And then you figured out your centerpiece so that your vertical stabilizer and horizontal stabilizers actually go through this piece here. So in this example, that is what mine would look like. And then did the exact same thing down on the other end, and you allowed yourself your 3 block or 5 block gap, or however many blocks that you wanted in front of or behind the plane that you have inside. The best thing that you want, or the best scenario or situation that you want, is an odd number. On your length, at least on your length, guys, you want an odd number. It will make it a lot easier to divide your roof in half, to put your side stabilization pieces here, it will make your life a lot simpler. Now, if you have a plane that is wide, an even block on the width, then you're just going to have a 2-block gap for this piece right here, which hopefully you don't. I pray to God you do not have a plane that is on the evens, but if it is, it's even numbers will always make things more difficult in Minecraft. Like I said, you won't have a 1-block center line for any of your runways or any of that shit. So make everything odd. Adjust it. Move this back by 1, move this out by 1. Get yourself and make sure you have odd numbers is the point that I'm trying to make. So is what you're going to have is you should have 2 pieces standing up just like this. Now everything, it doesn't matter how big these are, because everything else that wraps around on the outside is going to be exactly the same. So even on my bigger hangar base, the side pieces are still the same. Now, if you want, you could make these a little bit bigger. After you build a couple small ones, you'll see what I'm kind of understand more about what I'm talking about. But you can make these side pieces just like this. So frame outside your door piece. Again, here's your 1-block gap, and that's where your wing would come through. So this is going to be what you're going to build. And I build mine out of stone, and you're going to build 1, 2, and I'm going to build on top of this just so you can see what I'm doing. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, just like that. All right, and then you're going to have this piece here is basically your door jamb or the door piece. And we'll just go ahead and build that up to right there. And now if I remove the inside frame, you can see that that's actually where the door would be. And if you wanted to make that out of completely different material like iron, that would be kind of cool. But again, this is your door, so that's what you figured out from your middle sections. And then again, you're going to put 2 pieces here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then connect here. So you should have a 3 blocks here by 9, and then 10 total from this block to this block right here. And all your pieces will be the same. This piece, that piece, and that piece are all 2 blocks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 wide, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So as you can see, they're all this shape right here with a corner piece. Now, what that is you have outside framing and then inside framing, and then of course your door. This is going to be empty here in the middle. So now you're just going to start building up all your corners to the main height, which is right here. Let's go ahead and put these back in so we can have a reference point. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in just like that. All right. So now you're going to build up the rest of your framing to your maximum height. So go ahead and put in the side jambs up just like that. Same thing here. And again, this height is determined by the maximum height of the body. Somebody will ask. All right, and then this piece has to remain. That way you have this cutout piece here in the middle, so you can see your door. But you don't have to extend it any further than that right there, because you're not going to see it. Your walls are going to cover that up. So this is your outside wall. And go ahead and build that up. Oh, you shitbagger. And then your corner piece. So that's what you'll have from the outside, and again, that will be whatever material you're using, not yellow wool. And then your inside, you're going to do the exact same thing. Build that up. This is your inside wall. Just like that. And then you're going to have your outside wall running down the side. So this one here, and I have a gap here. This is for a door, but you're just going to run this all the way down. Don't figure out any of your doors right now. Just you can lay them out later and start building this up to the height of the other walls. Just like that. And all 4 corners should look exactly like this. And then you can remove a couple blocks here just so you can see what you're doing. And we'll be right back. I'll go ahead and build out the other corners. Alright guys, so this is what you should have with your hangar bays. We've got all four corners are built. We connected everything in the middle to get our outside walls. Again, don't worry about your trim pieces. We'll get them later. This is what we are concentrating on. This is what we should have. Now this gap on yours may be a little bit wider. It shouldn't be any narrower, because even if you have a plane that just has a singular vertical stabilizer, you're still going to have one block all the way around it. So this should be the smallest gap you should have. Now it may be a little bit taller and it may be wider, but this is where we're going to start. You're going to start on this outside piece, and the easiest place to start is right here and put 2 blocks. Now every hangar bay is going to have the exact same pattern. So you're going to have 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now at any point, if any of these blocks touch your center piece, okay, so let's say yours is actually over here somewhere, and now this is still either at this block or even higher, you've run into it. So obviously your roof is not going to fit. You're going to have to extend this piece over here and move this up. So you're going to have to move this whole pattern up until this run of 9 blocks actually sets at least 1 block above. You want at least a 1 block gap. So wherever it runs into, that is where you're going to make your adjustments. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. So anytime you're running your dome roof up and it runs into your center section, add more blocks here. So let's say you need to go up by 1. So just remove this, add a block, move these up by 1, and start your pattern again. 2, 3, let's move this a little bit, and then 4, 4, and then up again. We'll make 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then up again should be 9, 1, 2, 3, whoop. And as you see, we run into it again, but let's say we didn't. Let's say we cleared by 1 block, then we can go ahead and finish out the run. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And again, even if you want a higher profile, if you want to go above this by 2, that would be fine. But the biggest thing that you want to keep is at least a 1 block gap between the top of your framing, which is here, and then the top of your roof, right here. So this 9 will come in, and then your next one going up will start coming across just like this. Now this is either going to be a 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, all the way up to whatever. At some point this is going to get too flat, and I'm going to show you how to move that up 1 more, but this is non-critical right now. Let's not worry about that, except for we just want to be at least 1 block above the outside framing. So let's go ahead and leave 1 block up here for now, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side and the exact same thing on the other end. So we added 1 block over there. We're going to have to add 1 block over here, and then go out by 2, and then here's your 3, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it should be exactly the same. You should be just outside of this centerpiece by 1 block. Again, this gap will be different depending on where yours is. As long as it's not touching, you should be fine. And then the next run across this middle is going to be determined on how wide this is. So like I said, it could be 3, could be 5, could be 7, could be 9, could be whatever. This one here particularly is 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And everything pretty much looks like a really nice dome. And anything over this, probably up to about a 15 or a 17, it still looks pretty nice with a flat center in it. Anything over that, then you're going to have to bump up and divide that in half, and then divide it into different sections. And I'll show you that on the bigger one. But anyways, you're going to build the same thing on the other end. Alright, so you should have an arch on one side and an arch on the other. Now you're going to build everything in by 5 except for these 2 pieces right here. So 2, even if this is sitting right down here on this one and it cleared the middle, you're still going to build this 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and do the same thing with the rest of the arch all the way up. Alright, so now you should have your 2 domes, and all the blocks should be 5 deep except for the 2 here in the middle. Again, this will create for your little bit of an overhang. Alright, now is what we're going to do is off of each corner, we're going to start building these back. So this one here, this one here, this one, and this one. So your centerpiece is going to have it on both sides, and then stay to the outside of the building on each step going down. Just like that, just like that. And then these out here, these bottom 3, you're going to be filling these in solid, going back and connecting into those down there. And again, if it ran into the wall, that would be sitting right up on top of this, and from the inside you're automatically going to get a trim piece just like that. Alright, now again, your door is right here, so go ahead and take your door up just like this, and this is going to end up being solid, your inside wall here. So go ahead and take your inside wall, and then your framing, all this is going to go up and connect into your dome piece for your roof. And again, it doesn't matter how big your roof is or how big your building is, that's how it's going to connect in. Oops, my bad, not here. I was thinking it was this piece over here. Alright, so go ahead and keep running this across, and we'll get back to the top pieces here in just a second. This is how you're going to fill in the inside and the outside of the building. Just going to keep running it up until it hits the roof, so just keep moving upward. And then across the middle, down the other side, just like that. Oops, I forgot one block. I'm going to continue this across. Alright, so from the inside, that's what you should have. And then you're going to continue this wall upward until it either hits these 3 pieces, or these 3 pieces are already sitting right here. So you're going to take that middle block and just continue down just like that and make the side wall, and then this block here, if it's sitting here, will create your inside trim piece, and then the outside 3rd block will create the outside trim piece here. But because we are not sitting here, we're sitting up here, these blocks are just going to be sitting on top of the wall 1 block higher. So hopefully that should make sense. And these are the only ones that go solid all the way back to the other side. Alright, so just like that. Now on the outside you have a little bit of a gap, or you may have a gap, or you may not. Again, if this is down by 1 block, this will already be filled in. If you had to raise the roof, then you're going to have to fill these little corner pieces in until it makes it solid. Come over to the front, and you're going to do the same thing. Now you have your trim pieces here. There is your door on the inside. And then bring your wall out. Here's your trim piece here, or your main wall, excuse me. And again, take that up until it hits the top of the dome. Now in between the center, you can leave that wide open, and I'll show you that from the inside once I get this built. Alright, and there is the front piece, so it should look like that, or very similar. Again, yours may be a little bit higher, maybe 1 block lower, and then this wall here is just going to continue all the way down, or these 3 blocks here if it's sitting on the top, until you connect into the other corner. And then these, you're going to connect these all the way down. Do not run these down. Run these down, run these down, and these, and this one, that one, and this one, all the way down, and connect it into the other one, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so your roof should now look like this. Now we're going to go to whatever slabs that you're going to use, whether it be cobblestone or sandstone. I'm using quartz, and again, the pattern is going to be the same on all hangar bays. You're going to start with your slab, and you're going to have 3 slabs. So you're going to have 1 here, one's going to connect into here, and one's going to set on there just like that. And then you're going to have 2 blocks. And then you're going to go back to your slabs, and you're going to have 2 slabs and 2 blocks. Back to your slabs, you have 3 and 3 blocks, and then slabs 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 blocks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your centerpiece is going to be all slabs. And again, if this is wider, we're going to adjust this later, but at least make it up to this point right here. Now we're going to do the overhang. So the overhang is going to go with all your slabs. Bring this out by 1, that out by 1, this out by 1, and then wrap around the front of these 2 blocks, and then drop everything by 1, and that will cover up this piece here and trim everything out really nice. And then your centerpiece is just going to drop underneath just like that. And that's what you should have. And then do the exact same thing on all the other corners, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is what you should have so far, hopefully. Hopefully you do. Again, there's your pattern. 3 slabs, and then 2 blocks. And this is where it starts to wrap around them 2 blocks right here. And this will give you your overhang on the front, and a little bit of overhang here on the side. And then these pieces here is what's holding your overhang. Once you have that built on all 4 corners and connects in the middle, again with your slabs right here, and then it steps down by your slabs. That's all we did. We just connected slabs across the middle. Even if it's super wide right now and super flat, don't worry about it. As long as it has this, as long as it looks like this, you're okay. We'll adjust the middle in just a little bit. Once all that's done, now you have something to connect with. So it should be very obvious at this point. You're just going to go ahead and run everything down to the other side and connect it in, and then this one here, and then this one here. That will keep your overhang just like that. And then just start running everything down, even your solid blocks. Even once you pass this gap right here, just keep going with your blocks, because what that's going to do is open it up for your windows here in just a few minutes. So go ahead and run all these blocks down and connect them into the other one and make a solid roof. And you will either be A, you will be done, or B, we will go ahead and cut some windows in it. Alright guys, you should be just about done with your hangar bay, or maybe you are done. If you want a solid roof, this is what it should look like. You should be finished. And then on the inside, this is what it should look like. Except for that big gap over here that I didn't fill in. Now, to determine where your windows go and your struts or your main framing, I always put framing in the corner. So go ahead and run some up all 4 corners and connect it in just like that. Now if you want, you can go ahead and connect it here. You can connect here if you want to. Again, this is all optional stuff at this point. It's just to give it a better, more structure, look like something's holding it up. Now for your outside trim pieces, you can either have a straight solid wall like this, but I do think it looks better to at least divide it up. I always find my center point, which I think was right about there, I can't remember, and if you just want to split it in half, go ahead and just run a straight beam up the middle and one up the middle on the other side, and you are finished. If you want to get a little more fancier, then you're going to have to try to figure out dividing your ends by 3 and getting them as close as you can. On this particular design at 63 from corner to corner, I went 22 to that one here, and I went in 22 to that one there, and then that left a 21 block gap between these 2 frames. So I went ahead and put a block and then just run this up until it connects into your roof, and then put your 2 blocks out just like this right here, and that is what kind of holds the overhang on. So go ahead and run those up, and same thing if you just have one up the middle. When it touches the roof, bring it out by 2, and that's what should be holding on the outside slab pieces. And then if you want, if you're not in the middle, go ahead and make that your door. Again, on the inside, you can put your door wherever you want, 5 blocks out, 4 blocks out. Now your framing for your inside, I'm just going to cut through right here, and it's just going to be opposite or you know, yeah, opposite or mirrored from whatever it is on the outside. So if you have a frame here, you're going to have a frame here, and you're going to run it all the way up on the inside until it touches the roof like that. And now you can go ahead and go across the top. So come across by here and start connecting it just like this. And again, this will give you kind of a rafter type thing. And go across here. Concentrating jag. And all the way across and down. And it should end up in the same spot on the other side. And if I did it right, it should. And yes, it did. And as you can see, there's my one on the outside. Alright, and then so that'll give you a cross beam going that way, and then it'll give you another one going across here. Again, to keep it simple, if you just want to go across the middle, that's fine. If you want to figure it out by fifths or quarters or sevenths or whatever you want to do, at that point you're getting into a little bit more advanced. I want to keep this as simple as possible. So this will at least give you your main beams going across, and it'll give you your main beams going across the width. So you have your length beams and you'll have your width beams, and that's what these are right here. And then you'll have these pieces under here, so it'll give you kind of like a flat piece. Lots of pieces. All right. So now to figure out your windows, again, you don't have to put windows in it. It is a hangar bay. I understand that, you know, you may not want to have windows in it, but if you do, just drop down by one and then just start cutting out for windows. Just like that. Maybe leave one block there. And obviously we can't have windows here. So maybe come in by one right there and then fill that up with windows. And it looks pretty even. And then same thing in the middle, hold off by one block here and fill that in. And same thing on the other corner, same thing on the other side. And that will give you your top windows. Now on my C130, I went a little bit higher. I kept the windows up higher, and I could actually have put 2 sets of windows in on that one, or just kept them down low. Again, that's going to be however you want, or wherever you want, or even if you want them. All right, now for your side windows. Your top windows, excuse me, for your top glass. So obviously, you're going to have your side splitting beams, whether it be in the center, and I still always put one in the center regardless. So I leave one here, and then I go up here in the middle, and then I start cutting in. I'm going to have blocks here for the middle, and then on each beam. Now to lay those out, let's go over here, and it's going to be, I go on the ones that have, let's see, 3 slabs, 2 blocks, 2 slabs, 2 blocks is where I start, and then I do the next 3 sections. All right, so let's go over here and we'll cut that out real quick and hold in, I think it's 5 blocks. That's where yeah, this is like your 5 block gap right here. So we're gonna have this, and then this is gonna be filled in with your 5 blocks. I'm just doing this so I have a nice reference point here, guys, that's all. All right, so this is on top where you've got your 5 and then your 4. 2, 3, 4, and okay, just like that. All right, so we're going to come over here and we're actually going to cut these out for your windows. So on your 2 blocks, 2 slabs, which should be, let's find it here. I'm going to cut these back just so I can see everything. All right, so there's your 2 blocks and your 2 slabs, and we're going to count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your windows are going to go in right here. All right, and then you're just going to start cutting these blocks out. Let's go ahead and cut out 2 blocks. Because what's going to happen is actually cut out cut out the front set of blocks. Sorry, guys, you're going to leave that set of blocks in. You're going to count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to start putting your glass in. So you're going to leave those back there because we're going to build on top of those. And then start laying your glass all the way across until you meet one of your beams, which is right here. All right, so you're going to leave that block, and then you're going to start cutting out again until you reach your center or the next beam. So then my next center piece is right here. So that one is going to have that. I'm going to start cutting out again until I reach the next support beam, which is right here. And then I'm going to cut down to the other end until I'm 5 blocks out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should be right to the edge of that. And then we're just going to fill it in with glass. And then to cover up your glass, just pull this out with your slabs. So you're going to cover up that back row and the glass, and then you'll have a nice little cutout just like that. And then go up to your next section and start cutting these out. And just make it match the ones below. So if you have a solid piece here, leave that. And we're cutting, obviously you should be cutting the solid blocks. So you got 3 slabs and then 3 blocks. That's where you're going to be cutting out the next ones. And again, look for your solid beam and then keep cutting out. You sludge. And it will be right there. And then again, it should hold off 5 blocks. And one more right there. And then one more layer up from that, the next set of solid blocks right here. And then start cutting that out. And then leave your beam solid. And you get the point. So you should have 3 of them. On any size building, I didn't put no more than 3 in, and then just bring out your slabs to cover up the new section that you just built. So it's just like that. And that's what you'll have all the way down. So you just pull out your slabs, cover up your glass, cover up that, and this is the original piece right here. And that's it. And do the exact same thing on the other side. And then from this side, when you're flying along, you can see where the beams kind of stop and the glass isn't solid all the way across, and it looks like this inside structure beam is underneath that too. So it kind of makes sense to do it that way. Alright guys, that is my hangar bay tutorial. Hopefully this didn't get too long or too confusing. It should be very, very basic. Like I said, your dome tops are exactly the same. Again, let's I just remembered real quick, let's fly down here to the bigger ones, starting around the 80 block by 65 blocks. When you start getting up to here, let's find our 9 blocks. Let's see, we had 2, 3, 4, 6, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there would be a middle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just trying to find the pattern so I can show it to you. And this should be the 3 by 3. Alright, so we had the 3 slabs, 3 blocks, 4 slabs, 5 blocks, and then we went across the middle. Alright, so if you have to go up any higher, right now if you've got a very wide building, you've got a shitload of slabs going across connecting to the other side. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 6, and then 7. You're just going to divide that top by whatever looks good. Let's go back over here real quick. Maybe this will make a little bit more sense. I'll do it in like a small version. Speed up, Jag. Alright, so in the middle here, I've got right now 7 blocks. Alright, so let's say you guys had something like 21 blocks or whatever. You're just going to find your center, and you're just going to move it up, and then you're going to divide, like say I've got 3 on each side. If I want to just go down 1 down the middle, that's all I would do. And then just run this down the middle and make 1 more layer up. Oops, just like that. So if I wanted this one to have 1 more peak down the middle. If it was wider, I'm just going to continue making this wider and just leaving this the same amount of blocks on each side until you get a middle that carries that dome the same angle as what we have. It's like it's a little confusing, but it's going to depend on how wide this piece is. I wouldn't do it on a piece if you've got probably 15 or less. Leave it flat. If you've got like 17 or more, I would put maybe a 5 blocks in the middle, and I wouldn't go no more than that. Maybe 5 to 7 at the most. and put one more layer down the middle, and then just build it up by one. Like I said, hopefully that makes sense. No, I'm not going to make a separate tutorial on how to do that. Again, that is something you should be able to figure out with a little bit of practice, especially building these smaller ones. You'll understand once you reach the middle what's going to look right and what's not. These big fucking wide ones, you're not going to want a big flat section in the middle. Just go up one more and make it 3, 5, 7 wide. Stick to your odd numbers and be a little creative, and you should be just fine. And that is it. I'm now going to fly over, or I'm going to throw up some snapshots, one or the other, of some standardized sizing that you can use so you don't have to figure anything out, on your own. Top set of numbers will be your tarmac size, or basically the overall size that you're going to need. That counts your overhangs. And the lower set of numbers is going to be this corner to that corner to this corner to that corner. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw some snapshots in here of the sizes. Again, the top size is your overall. The bottom sizes are your structure size on the bottom sizes. So go ahead and finish watching that if you want. If not, like always, I appreciate you watching. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.